Hey, welcome to Act 2. Now, in Act 2, we are going to switch over. I'm scrolling my iPad here. We are going to switch over to the House of Gloucester. Now, if you notice, sometimes people call him Gloucester, sometimes you hear him called Gloucester. Same thing, it's just Americans tend to say Gloucester. British people a little more likely to say Gloucester. It's just what you're used to. Neither one is wrong. So I use Gloucester because that's sort of how it's spelled. And when you're writing, I would prefer you spell it correctly. So I'm afraid if I say Gloucester, y'all are going to be spelling that really weird. So we are heading over to Gloucester's house. We are going to be seeing from the brothers, of course, Edmund, the younger, Edgar, the older but not so smart one in the family. So we're going to be seeing from our brothers, and we are going to be meeting a character named Curran. He's only going to show up this once, which is why I didn't even put a name here. This is just sort of, random anonymous actor that we're going to have playing Curran. Curran works for Gloucester. And so the very fact that Edmund seems to be friends with him suggests that Edmund is not really hanging out with and making friends with the noble classes. He is spending a little bit more time hanging out with the servants in the castle, which does not suggest that he is particularly well accepted by society. We are also going to be hearing about a growing problem. If you remember, Lear split his kingdom between these two families. So England is right now split between the Albany side and the Cornwall side. Well, the Dukes of Albany and Cornwall, there are a few rumors they might be going to war, and we're going to hear about that in this particular scene. And that is dangerous because if they go to war, that means that England is essentially going to be trapped in a civil war. So good job, Lear. Not only did you set your family up for a complete mess, but you managed to set your country up for a civil war. Good job. So let us start with Edmund and random guy Curran. Save thee, Curran.
And you, sir, I have been with your father and given him notice that the Duke of Cornwall and Regan, his Duchess, will be here with him this night.
How comes that?
Nay, I know not. You have heard the news abroad, I mean the whispered ones, for they are yet but ear-kissing arguments.
Not I, pray you. What are they?
Have you heard of no likely wars twixt the Dukes of Cornwall and Albany?
Not a word.
You may do then in time. Fare you well, sir.
The Duke, here tonight? The better.
Best. This weaves itself perforce into my business. My father hath set guard to take my brother, and I have one thing of a queasy question which I must act. Briefness in fortune work. Brother! A word. Descend, brother, I say! My father watches. Oh, sir, fly this place. Intelligence is given where you are hid. You have now the good advantage of night. Have you not spoken against the Duke of Cornwall? He's coming hither now in the night, in haste, and Regan with him. Have you nothing said upon his party against the Duke of Albany? Advise yourself.
I am sure on it. Not a word.
I hear my father coming. Pardon me. In cunning, I must draw my sword upon you. Draw, seem to defend yourself. Now quit you well. Yield come before my father. Light ho, here! Fly, brother. Torches, torches! So, farewell, brother.
And run.
Some blood drawn on me would beget opinion. Cuts himself. Of my more fierce endeavour, I have seen drunkards do more than this in sport. Father! Father! Stop! Stop! No help! Now, Edmund, where is the villain? Here he stood in the dark, his sharp sword out, mumbling of wicked charms, conjuring the moon to stand auspicious mistress. But where is he? Look, sir, I bleed. Where is the villain, Edmund? Fled this way, sir, when he could by no means pursue him. Ho, go after. Yeah, by no means what? By no means persuade me to the murder of your lordship, but that I told him the revenging gods gainst parricides did all their thunders bend, spoke with how manifold and strong a bond the child was bound to the father, sir. In fine, seeing how loathly opposite I stood to his unnatural purpose, he fell in motion with his prepared sword. He charges home my unprovided body, lanced my arm. But when he saw my best alarmed spirits, bold in the quarrel's right, roused to the encounter, or whether gasted by the noise I made, full suddenly he fled. Let him fly far. Not in this land shall he remain uncaught, and found, dispatch. The noble Duke, my master, my worthy arch and patron, comes tonight. By his authority I will proclaim it, that he which finds him shall deserve our thanks, bringing the murderous coward to the stake. He that conceals him, death. When I dissuaded him from his intent, and found him pight to do it with cursed speech, I threatened to discover him. He replied, Thou unpossessing bastard, dost thou think if I would stand against thee, would the reposal of any trust, virtue, or worth in thee make thy words faithful? No. What I should deny, as this I would, though thou didst produce my very character, I'd turn it all to thy suggestion, plot, and damned practice, and thou must make a dullard of the world, if they not thought the profits of my death were very pregnant in potential spurs to make thee seek it. Strong and fastened villain! Would he deny his letter? I never got him. What? Oh, hark! The Duke's trumpets. I know not why he comes. All ports, all bar, the villain shall not escape. The Duke must grant me that. Besides, his picture I will send far and near, that all the kingdom may have the due note of him, and of my land, loyal and natural boy, I'll work the means to make thee capable. I'm going to do everything in my means to give you my land and my title. Have y'all noticed that there is a real, pattern of stupid old men in this play? Because we got some stupid old men. Yeah. And here comes Cornwallis. And there goes my dog. Honey, stop. No, leave it. Honey, hey, leave it. Leave it. Honey, come. Sorry, dogs. This is why working from home, not always ideal. So here come the Cornwalls. Regan got the letter from her sister saying, hey, Dad's going to come to stay with you. And she promptly fled her castle. So let's start with her husband, the Duke of Cornwall. How now, my noble friend, since I came hither, which I can call but now, I have heard strange news. If it be true, all vengeance comes too short, which can pursue the offender. How dost, my lord? Oh, madame, my old heart is cracked. It's cracked. What? Did my father's godson seek your life? He whom my father named your Edgar? Oh, lady, shame would have it hid. Was not he companion with the riotous knights that tend upon my father? I know not, madame. 'Tis too bad. Too bad. Yes, madame. He was of that consort. No marvel, then. Though he were ill affected, 'tis they have put him on the old man's death to have the expense and waste of his revenues. I have this present evening from my sister been well informed of them, and with such cautions that if they come to sojourn at my house, I'll not be there. Nor I, assure thee, Regan. Edmund, I hear that you have shown your father a childlike office. 'Twas my duty, sir. He did bewray his practice and received this hurt, you see, striving to apprehend him. Is he pursued? Ay, my good lord. If he be taken, he shall never more be feared of doing harm. Make your own purpose, how in my strength you please. For you, Edmund, whose virtue and obedience doth this instant so much commend itself, you shall be ours. Natures of such deep trust we shall need. You we first seize on. So apparently he hears one story and he just has a deep and abiding trust in Edmund. Yeah, apparently it's not just the old men who are stupid. I shall serve you, sir, truly, however else. For him, I thank you, your grace. You know not why we came to visit you. Thus out of season, threading dark-eyed night, occasions noble Gloucester of some poise, wherein we must have use of your advice. Our father, he hath writ, so hath our sister, of differences which I at least thought it fit to answer from our home, the several messengers from hence attend dispatch. Our good old friend lay comfort to your bosom, and bestow your needful counsel to our business, which craves the instant use. I serve you, madame. Your graces are right welcome. And that is the end of Act 2, Scene 1. So the Cornwalls have essentially, those two aren't married. These two are married. The Cornwalls have essentially fled their castle because they don't want to deal with Lear and his knights. Regan seems to be willing to blame the knights for everything, including Edgar's sudden streak of homicidal wanting to kill his fatherism. And Gloucester, well, he's joining Lear in the company of stupid old men. So, we got a whole lot of soap opera going on. See you in Scene 2.